guys. So let's get going. Let's start off with simple interest. I'm going to start off with a question before we discuss this formula. What is interest? So besides simple and compound and all of that, what is interest? What is interest, guys? If I say I'm paying interest on something, what does that mean? Yes, a percentage that an amount or money increases for either investing or loaning. Okay, so those are the two scenarios in which interest is charged. So today we're doing simple interest. I'm going to start off with the formula for just simple interest. So if I, for instance, say I am investing 5,000 rands, okay, for 2 years at a 2.5% interest per annum or per year. Okay, this is the formula you will use if I asked you, what is the interest that I earned? Okay, so SI or simple interest, which is what we usually use, is equal to P, which is the principal amount. What does the principal amount mean? That is horrible highlighting. All of you just pretend that was fabulous. What is our principal amount? What does that mean, guys? That means the money you invested. So it's the initial amount, basically. Okay. This is your initial amount. So it's your principal amount times R, which is your interest rate. Now, the reason we say rate is because this will be a percentage. Okay, you can't just say it times 2.5 because that doesn't make sense. This is a percentage. And then times T, which is your time in years. That is very important. In years. All right. So that would be the amount. So for this example that I've given you here, you would say SI or simple interest is equal to 5,000 rands times 2.5% or 2.5 over 100. I am used to using this over 100 because if you do not have a calculator that has that percentage sign, you'll be in trouble. So get used to the habit of doing this divided by 100 thing for percentage, okay? And how much interest would that be for this specific one? This is 250 rands interest. Okay, but if I want to know in total how much do I have, that would mean that I have the initial 5,000 rand that I invested plus the 250, which means I now have 5,250. Do we get it? I hope you guys understand. And simple interest means you will keep earning this 250 rands regardless of how long you keep your money in this account. That's basically what simple interest is, okay? So if I keep this, even if I keep this money in here for 10 years, for all 10 years, in year 1, I will earn 250 interest. In year 2, I will earn 250 interest. That's what simple interest means. Whereas with compound interest, which we are doing in the next lesson on Tuesday, compound interest says if I earn, let's say I earn 250 in the first year, right? I now have 5,250 in my account. In my second year, I will earn 2.5% of 5,250. Are we with me? Which means your amount or your interest earned will increase slightly. And this will be 5,250 times 2.5%. So that would be a slightly more because it is 262. Do you see what I mean? That's what compound means. And then you're going to take this amount and add it back to there before you work out interest for the next 2 years. Okay. Buhlale, I said when you add the 250, that's to know how much you have in total, right? If you invested 5,000 rands and you earn 250 rand interest, you don't have 250 rands in the account. You have 5,250 rands. Does it make sense? So you add it back if they ask you how much you have in total. Are we with me? Okay, where did I lose you, Mavis? Do you understand the simple interest formula? Let's start with the formula. Do we understand the formula? Okay, this is just a formula. Okay, it's nothing you can change. All right. You get it from the simple interest formula, guys. So I explained that the principal amount is the amount you invested. I gave us an example over here. I said I'm investing 5,000 Rand for 2 years and they are giving me 2.5% interest. Okay. The first thing you put in your formula is the principal amount, which is the initial amount, which means how much did I invest? I invested 5,000 rands. All right. That's why I substituted. There it is there. Okay. Times your interest rate, which was 2.5%. The reason it's over 100 is because it is percent. Okay. Times the time in years. I said I'm investing for 2 years. I need a new color. For 2 years, that's why you multiplied it by 2. If you just put this in your calculator, you get 250 rands. Are we with me? No, we're not rooting anything. That would be compound interest. Don't confuse each other, guys. This is just simple interest. Okay, we're not rooting anything. This is just simple interest. All right, guys. Great. All right, now we understand and we are with me. So then from then on, I said, in your account, you have now earned 250 rands of interest, but it doesn't mean you have 250 rands, right? You have in total the 5,000 that was there in the first place, plus the 250 that you have earned. Okay, are we with me? Hopefully we are all with me now. So that's to find out in total how much we have. Great. Okay. Now the second formula is if you do not want to go through the simple interest formula, let's say the question goes straight to how much do you have in the account, right? That's the second formula, which is this one over here. Okay. Now let's discuss what each of these mean in the new formula. Okay. A stands for accumulated amount. What does the word accumulated mean? What does the word to accumulate mean? Gained. Gained. Beautiful, Alice. That is a nice word. This is the gained amount. This is the amount you have in total. Okay? As in the amount you initially put in plus all the interest. That's what accumulated amounts means. Okay, so the accumulated amount formula is the P, which is still the principal of the original amount, open bracket, 1 plus I. This I is the same as what in my first formula? Look here. The I is the same as what in my first formula? Interest rate, which is R, right? It's the same thing. Times N, which is number of years. And that's the same as what in my first formula? That's the same as T. Are we with me? It is actually possible to rewrite the simple interest formula using these variables. So what I mean is you can say simple interest is equal to principal times interest rate as I times number of years as N. Do you see? Now, if you plug in all of your information in this, it will take you straight to the final answer, which is this one, 5,250, without having this extra step of adding. Do you understand the difference between these two formulas, guys? Can I have a thumbs up, thumbs down? Let me zoom out so you can see them. There. First one is if I just want to know interest. How much interest am I earning? Okay. Second one is if I want to know how much money do I have in total, including the amount I invested. All right. Let's look at some examples or apply these. So first one says, Jacob invests 6,000 rands for 4 years at 7.5%. What does this PA stand for? This guy. What does that PA stand for? Per annum, okay? It's the same thing as this over here. So it means per year, basically. Annum means per year. All right. So this is what Jacob is going to earn. So number one says, what interest is earned over the 4 years? Are we going to use the SI formula or the A formula for number one? It says, what interest is earned? Nice, Mavis. We're going to use SI because they didn't ask us for the accumulated amount. They just want to know the interest. Are you with me? So one, I'm going to go ahead and say my simple interest is equal to the principal amount times the interest rate times the 4 years, times the years. Of course, I'm going to substitute when I'm not supposed to. In number of years. Okay, let's substitute. What is my principal amount for this one? My principal amount, that's 6,000. Thank you very much. Okay, times my interest rate, which is 7.5%. Great. Times the number of years, which is 4. Great. Now, can we all take out our calculators? If you don't have your calculator today, please go fetch it. You will need it throughout this lesson. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. 1,800 Rand. That is just the interest earned. Are we with me? And then number 2 says, what is the total value of this investment after 4 years? Now, there are 2 ways to work this out. What are the 2 ways? Alice already has the answer. What are the 2 ways of working out the total amount, or the total value rather? We can add, and what is the second one? What is the second method for finding the total accumulated? It's the second formula. Beautiful. But because we already have the interest, we don't have to go through all of that. Okay? We can literally just say 6,000 rands plus 1,800 rands, and this will give me 7,800. So after 4 years, Jacob now has 7,800 rands in total. Are we with me? Okay, let's look at B. Remember, interest rates are not only for investment, but for loans as well. I'm going to move this down. Okay, B says, which is a loan. B is a loan because it says you borrow 10,000 rands. Okay, for 3 years on the condition that you pay it back with 12% per annum simple interest. How much do you pay back? Is this a SI calculation or an A calculation? Which calculation is it? It's a A calculation because they are asking you how much will you have to pay back. Okay, you need to pay back firstly that 10,000 you borrowed plus the interest. Do we see why it's a A calculation? Because you need to pay back, not only do you need to pay back that interest, but also the 10,000 Rand. So let's go. A is equal to principal amount, open brackets, 1 plus interest times time, close brackets. Okay, let's substitute. What is my principal amount? My principal amount, there we go. Thank you. 10,000. Open brackets. 1 plus, what is my interest rate? 12%. Okay. Times, how long do I have to pay this back? 3 years. Okay. And this will equal how much? Let's all take out our calculators. Thank you. And that's one short and sweet calculation of 13,600 rands. So if you borrow 10,000 rands for 3 years, you have to pay back 13,600 rands. Okay, now what's different with C? Let's all take a look at C. Yes, it is wrong because then it's not 12%. Okay, and it'll give you a huge number because then it's going to give you 37 times 10,000, which is 37,000. Do you see the difference in the numbers? It's 12%. Okay, thank you for asking. All right, guys, let's look at C. What's different about C? Let's read over it quickly. Nelson invests 12,000 rands at 11.5% per annum simple interest for 18 months. And you guys are correct. We have a problem with the fact that this is in months. Okay, because N is the time in what? It's all right, Senyani. Welcome. We want years. Now, how am I going to convert those 18 months into years? How will I convert them? Into divide by 12 because there are 12 months in a year. So you're going to say 18 divided by 12. And that gives us what? 1,5 years. Now, I saw this trick other learners just now. 0.5 years is how many months? If I say 0.5 years, how many months is it? It's tricking us also. 0.5 months. It is not 5 months, guys. What does 0.5 mean? It means half. So how much is a half of a year? It is 6. Be careful, okay? Be very careful. So it is 6 months, okay, not 5. Just because it's a 5, that is just a decimal. It's not representing months. Okay, if we had 10 months, then yes, I would say 0.5 is 5 months. But we have 12, so a half of that would be 6. Okay, so we have our years, and we have Nelson, who is investing. So this is an investment of 12,000 rands at 11.5. And we have our 18 months, which we have converted to 1.5 years. And then it says, what amount will he have in the end? Is this a SI calculation or a calculation? This is we have a lot of contradiction here. SI or A? It says, what amount will he have in the end? This is a calculation, guys. Because if you are investing, you are going to have 12,000 rands plus the interest, okay? So if the question doesn't explicitly ask you for interest, it is not a SI calculation. Okay, so for SI, they will ask you 11.5% per annum. Okay, here it is. Here, it's the interest rate. So this is actually an A calculation because they want to know the total amount of money in this bank account after all of those years. It's 1,5 years, Arian. Or do you mean this little strokey here that I did? It's 1,5. All right. Not 11. Okay, so A is equal to, so you guys need to get into the habit of rewriting formulas like I am right now. Please, I know it's tedious for some of you, but just do it. Great. What is our principal amount for C? Our principal amount, it is 12,000. Thank you. So I'm taking 12,000 and I'm going to say 1 plus my interest rate, that is 11,5%. Okay, times the years that we have now established is 1,5. Great. Now let's take out our calculators and let's find out. This will be 14,070. Okay, so if you invest 12,000 Rand for a year and a half at 11,5% interest, you will receive 14,070 Rand back in total. This is not the interest, this is the total amount. Okay, I'm going to zoom out because I'm going to have my first thumbs up, thumbs down for this part. For all three questions. Look at all three of them. Check if there is anything you don't understand. Please ask. All right, so we're all good. Okay. I know, once you get the hang of it, it's just smooth sailing from there. All right, so I have a bit of challenge ones here. I'm not going to do all of them, but there are ones that I want to do. I actually want to do all of them, but let's see. Okay, so Musi, there we go, because my eyes were starting to hurt, borrows money from Aggie. After 2 years, so we have some sort of something over there, the money plus 18% simple interest per year, he has to pay back 4,080. How much did he borrow from Aggie? This is a very more interesting question. Okay, not today, Jason, not today. All right, let me move this. Great. Guys, how are we going to work this out? This problem between Musi and Aggie, how are we going to work it out? We have to find the principal. So are we using the SI or the A to find the principal? We are using, oh, guys, read the last question. It says, how much money did he borrow? Okay. He has to pay back an amount of 4080. Is that 4080 including the amount that he borrowed, or is it just the interest? It is including. So if it includes the amount he borrowed, then is it SI or is it just, or is it A? Excuse me. Is it just SI or is it A? It's A, okay? It's the accumulated amount, including interest. All right, so let's get going. This is number what? D. Okay, this is A equals P, open bracket, 1 plus I in. Great. What is my accumulated amount? Because that's what he pays back, right? There we go. Excuse me. 4080 equals. Do we know the principal amount? Do we know how much he borrowed? No, so I'm just going to leave it as P for principal amount. Open bracket 1 plus. What is my interest rate? 18%. And for how long did Musi borrow this money for 2 years. Great. Now, in case you haven't noticed, we actually want this amount over here. Okay. Now, my tip is first work out this bracket. Let's first work out that bracket. How much is that? 1 plus 18% times 2. 1 plus 18% times 2. So I'm going to rewrite the left-hand side because we're not doing anything with it currently. Equals P times 1,36. Wonderful. Now, how are we going to get P on its own? We're going to divide by 1,36. Great, guys. So therefore, what was my principal amount? How much did this person borrow? 3,000 rands. Nice, guys. That is beautiful. Okay, so I'm not going to do the rest of them because we need to move on to exchange rates now. But can I have a thumbs up, thumbs down on finding different variables? Okay, you don't always have to find A. If you look at question F, for F, we need to find N because it says how long does he need to invest, okay? And for E, they ask for the simple rate, which is I. So you need to be able to take this formula and work backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. All right. Great. Now let's move on to exchange rates. What are exchange rates, lovelies? What are exchange rates? When I speak of exchange rates, what does that mean? The difference in currencies. That is very much correct, Alice. Thank you. Okay, so for this table, we are actually focusing on US dollars. Okay, and I know that because they are comparing everything to 1 US dollar. Okay, so they're telling us the 1 US dollar is 0.75611 euros, and it's equivalent also to 0.65988 British pounds, and it is also equivalent to 61,23117 Indian rupees. Now, before we go anywhere, I'm going to ask you guys, out of this table that you see here, which currency is the strongest? Which currency is the strongest here? Oh, we have interesting answers. British pounds, dollar, Indian rupee. What do we think, guys? Which one is the strongest? Actually, Alice is correct. The British pound is the strongest. Now, let me explain why, okay? This table tells you that 1 US dollar is not even 1 British pound, okay? It's worth cents. Do you understand what this means? Right? So a full dollar in the US is equivalent to cents. So for instance, let's say you're going on vacation, right? You're going on a holiday, you're going to Britain, and you come from the US. And you take with you 1,000 US dollars. This is only going to be worth about 659 pounds. So do you see why it is stronger? Can I have a thumbs up, thumbs down? 1 US dollar is not even worth a whole British pound. It's worth cents. It's like me saying to you, your 10 rands is actually worth 2 over here. Does that make sense? So that means that the British pound is stronger because it devalues the US dollar. Are we with me, guys? I saw someone send a thinking face in the reactions. So can I know what you were thinking? Yes, that means rupees are the weakest. Because imagine, guys, 61 rupees are equivalent to to 0.6 cents in Britain. So can you hear what? They are very weak. Okay, there's a huge difference there. It devalues the currency. So you could come with 60 rupees. Imagine me coming with 60 rands. And that 60 rands is worth 50 cents, let's say. It's worth 50 cents in Britain. All right. So now that we have determined how to distinguish those two, let's get going. Okay. How many pounds can you get for $25? Does anyone have suggestions about how we're going to do this? How did you do it, Mavis? So $1 is equal to 0.65988. It's all right, Spongo Musa. We're glad you're here. Welcome. Great. So you times by 25. But does anybody know why? Okay, actually, I'm just going to do what you guys are telling me. Okay, because I know for the second one, it's going to shake a little bit. So I'm going to say 0.65988 times 25. And that gives us how much? 16. When it's money, well, how much do we round off, guys? How many decimal places? 2. So it's comma 5, 0. Okay, and if you're confused why it became comma 50, that is because it was comma 497. This number is above 5, which means it's going to increase the 9, but 9 is already the limit, so it's going to go and increase the 4. Okay. Wonderful. Let's look at 2. How many dollars can you get for 100 euros? So $1 is equivalent to 0.75611 euros. How do we do this one? Can you divide? What am I dividing with what? Oh, see, we're not certain anymore. So I want to show us a method that will always work. Okay, I'm going to go back to question 1 and show you a method. So we started off with the exchange rate, right? 0.65988. And they gave us $25 equals. If I don't know something in math, what do I do? How do I write something I don't know in math? I use a variable. So I'm going to put X there. Okay, X pounds. Now, firstly, before I show you this method, I want you to make sure that the same currency is on the same side. So on my left-hand side, I have my dollars. On my right, I have my pounds. Then we're going to cross multiply. Okay, that means I'm going to say 1 times X is equal to 0.65988 times 25. Is that not the method we used? That is the method we used, right? 8. And this is going to give me how many pounds? We said 1650. Okay, but let's see. Now it's going to make this one easier. This time, what were we given? Were we given dollars or euros? Excuse me. Were we given dollars or euros? Euros, okay? 100 euros. So I'm going to put them over here. And this time my X goes under the dollars. So again, you check. Do I have the same unit? Yes, I do. Do I have the same unit? Yes, I do. And then you cross multiply. So you're going to have X times 0.75611. So that's just going to be 0.75611X is equal to 1 times 100. Okay, how am I going to find this X that is on its own here? How will I find my x? I'm going to divide both sides. So you guys were correct, but at least now you can be 100% sure of what you are doing. 611. So then, therefore, x is going to be how many euros? 132,26. Okay. The last one is a little bit more interesting. Okay. Firstly, before I go anywhere, this amounts that they put here for us. Okay. For those who may not be able to see properly, it's 10,2,147. Is that 10 rand or is it some sort of 1,000 rands? What is that? It is 10 rand, okay? I have emphasized this whole year that this comma means it's a decimal. It's not a separator, okay? It's not a separator at all. So I know some of you might see something like this, comma 244, and think this means 13,244, but it actually doesn't, okay? It means 13, comma 244. Are we with me? All right. Okay, so now let's get going. Let's get going. We have established what it is. So they say if this many rands is equal to $1, how many pounds can you get for 500 rands? Okay, in case you didn't notice, there are 3 units here. There are rands, there are dollars, and there are pounds. This is very outdated, right? Currently, $1 is about 18 rand 50. So it has inflated a lot. Okay, so I have the exchange rate of 10 rand is equal to $1. And then they give us the 500 rand. So that's going to go under the correct unit. Equals, I don't know what this is, so what do I put here? X. And why do I first have to go through dollars, guys? Why do I first have to go through dollars? If you look at our table, there is no place for rands, right? So we cannot compare rands with pounds. So you first have to go through dollars because they gave you this exchange rate in the question. And then you're going to go from dollars to pounds because you have this table. Does that make sense, guys? So let's do so like so. So I'm going to do this and say 1 times 500 is equal to 10, comma, so this is just 500, is equal to 10, comma 2147x. How am I going to get this x on its own? I'm going to divide both sides by 10, comma 2. There we go. Divide this side by 10, comma 2147. And my left-hand side by 10. I almost wrote 2, comma 2147. Okay, what's x? Okay, what is my unit? Let's start with units. What is my unit for this first x that we are working out here? Dollars. Tanko. So it's how many dollars? 48,95. Great. Now we've successfully moved from rands to dollars, but they didn't ask us for dollars. They asked us for pounds. So we have to go back to the table. Okay. So just to remind ourselves, $1 is equal to, and I forgot 0, 65988. It's all right, Butlale. Thanks for coming through. All right. And then we have $48,95 equals how many pounds? We don't know. So let's do our cross multiplication there. And this one is actually very short because there is no division. Okay. So therefore, my x will be equal to 0, 65988 times 48,95. And how many pounds does that give me, guys? 32,30. Okay, I'm zooming out for people who want to take screenshots. Can I have a thumbs up, thumbs down while we're doing screenshots? A quick thumbs up, thumbs down. All right. All right, all right, all right. Great. All right, now we can do a few more. Okay. Let's see which one is the best. This, we've already done something like this. We've already done something like this. Let's see. You buy the following items over the internet. This is interesting. Let's do number 3. So you, if you're like me and like buying stuff on the internet, this is what we are buying today. All right? So you buy a fountain pen for $40,51 and a graphical calculator for 65,42 British pounds. What is the combined total cost in rands for these purchases? So now, if you look at this table carefully, it has changed focus and become a rands. Rand focused, because 1 rand is compared to all of these. All right, let's see then. Okay, so let's see. If I have 1 rand, first one is US dollars. Okay, 1 rand is equivalent to, guys, it's not even 50 cents. It's 0,08995. Okay, and what were we given for the first one, the fountain pen, rands or dollars? Were we given rands and dollars? We were given dollars. So this is gonna have to go that side, 40,51. That may be, Alice, but if you go check out our current exchange rate, it's not that different, né? So what we're trying to work out here is X. Once again, you check, do I have the correct unit in the correct places? Great. And then you cross multiply. Great. So X times 0,08995 is equal to 40,51. How am I going to get X on its own? I'm going to divide. So 0,08995, 0,08995. Therefore, X is equal to, in rands, 450,36 rands. Great, we have sorted out the cost of the fountain pen. Now we need the cost of the graphical calculators, which is in British pounds. So this time we are using this exchange rate. Okay. So I have 1 rand is equivalent to 0,05225. And what were we given? We were given pounds. So they have to go under the pounds. Okay. This is 65,42 equals to, I don't know how many rands. Have we checked that we have everything under the same unit? Yes, yes. Now let's cross multiply. So I have 0,05225 x is equal to 65,42. Once again, I have to go divide both sides by 0,05225. Does anyone have an answer for me yet? X is equal to, there's a lot going on. Mavis, please check again because I have 2 people with the same answer. 1, 2, 52,06. Can you two people also check? Because we're supposed to be getting the same answers. Divided by 0,05. Okay, there we go. Now, they asked us for the combined total in rand. So what do we have to do with our two amounts? We have to add them. So it's 450 rands and 36 cents plus 1,252 rands and 6 cents. Can I have someone tell me, please, what is the amount? That would be 1702,42. Can I have a thumbs up, thumbs down? Graphical calculators are very expensive.